Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get it. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is the YouTube Yarda. Okay, so we're going to get into this. This is a term that gets thrown around a lot on YouTube, and I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. Anyways, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this sort of content, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment, share the video. It really helps us to grow and it helps to spread the message. Also, hit that notification bell so anytime I go live or I drop a new video, you will be informed and you can check it out when you are ready. And you can also become a member of the channel. Just hit that join button and take a look at the different levels of membership. And if you find something you like, then go ahead and handle that, So the YouTube Yarda. I hear this term thrown around a lot on YouTube. And unfortunately, I'm part of that prison genre of YouTube. And, it's not really where I want to be. My channel's about sobriety and getting clean. And we get to that through stories of where my life has gone due to addiction and, the different county jails I was in, the different prisons I was in, and a lot of the violence that occurred over that addiction. And a lot of people were hurt and stuff. So my message is sobriety, but that term gets thrown around a lot, right? And people tend to talk reckless. Some people do, There's a few channels I think that are really good, and I'll definitely give them a shout out before we are done. But, I hear people use that term, and it bugs me because basically we're not anonymous because obviously you can see my face, right? And you can see a lot of these other people's faces, but YouTube is YouTube. It's social media. It's a place where you can come and tell stories and hopefully people like them and maybe you can make a little bit of money doing it, But it's not prison. It's not the Yarda, okay? It's not the yard. When you go to prison, you can't leave, basically. They say fight or flight. It's fight, basically. There's nowhere to flight to. Unlike YouTube, where you can basically talk a bunch of shit about other YouTubers and stuff, and I see it, man, like people politicking on one another and trying to smut each other up, and is this guy a dropout? Is this guy active? First of all, most of the time they don't even use the word dropout correctly. Come on, you do your homework before you start talking, okay? Like a dropout is somebody that was either an associate or a member of one of the big four prison gangs. The term dropout is that they dropped out of something. You can be a PC inmate or an SNY inmate without being a dropout. But it's fashionable now, right? Oh, that this vato's a dropout or that guy's a dropout. Like the way things get miscategorized drives me crazy sometimes. And by no means am I an expert on prison. Like I said, I did like 2 years, and that was plenty for me. But the idea for me of this YouTube thing is if I'm going to tell you a story, I want to be able to have a message behind it It's not just, oh, Johnny went and stabbed Billy and, they put the yard down. Like, that's, anybody could do that. Like, I could make up stories for years about stuff like that. But, I want to tell you a story with a message behind it. That way you can see that, you know what, maybe it's time to get clean, because that's not the life to live. Growing up, I always thought I was predestined to go to prison. And if you think that way, then guess what? That's what's going to happen. You don't have to be that way. But getting back to I kind of got off topic there. Getting back to the topic of the YouTube Yarda, you know, people talk reckless. They politic on each other. They want to know if this dude's a dropout or not. Why does any of that stuff matter? One of the channels I watch, and I want to give this guy a shout out, is Dubs. Okay. He did like 24 years straight in prison. He had a life sentence, and he's a success story of lifers getting out. There's others too, but the thing I like about his channel is he always tries to offer some advice from somebody that's been there and done that. And that's priceless, in my opinion. Like, I learned so much from this guy about, just, obviously going to prison, respect is a big thing. You see a lot of people on the YouTube Yarda who want to talk shit and, oh, Dubs is a dropout, or Gunner's a dropout, or whoever's a dropout. Who cares? My objective is to help people find sobriety and live a better life and not have to disappoint their families because they're locked up yet again. This was me. This was me for a long time. And when I finally made it to prison, I told my wife, move on with your life. I'm a loser. This is me, though. And I'm going to ride until the wheels fall off, basically. And I went and told the shot caller, my hand's up. This is my life now. Obviously, this is the career I've chosen. So when something needs to be done, I'm your guy. Luckily for me, the wife wrote a letter back and said, you're a dumbass. Do your time and come home to me. And then I had to go with my tail between my legs and tell that same shot caller, hey, about that thing I was saying, but this is what happens when we get caught up in addiction. That Dubs channel, like I said, I love it. Shout out to you, bro. You are showing that convicts can be reformed. And you always have a good message behind it. Like a lot of these celebrity beefs that you see and stuff, like drama sells, right? But like, I think he was talking about Lucky from Hoodstocks and Raider Compa the other day. And I really enjoyed that because basically he said, like, you're going to let your ego get in the way and you're going to end up in prison when you're driving a nice car. You are making money on social media. Like, basically, don't be stupid, and I'm not saying that none of those guys are stupid or anything. I don't know who those guys are, really. I've watched some of their stuff, but, Dub's really doing it. So shout out to you, bro. But the thing is, on a real prison yard, not the YouTube Yarda, on a real prison yard, the way most of these guys talk, they wouldn't be talking that way there. If you're on a 3, the highest I ever seen was a 3 in AdSeg. I never been on a 4. I never been on a 4 180 like Dubs was. But even on a 3 yard, even on a 2 yard, you come talking out of the side of your neck, that's a good way to go for a ride on a helicopter. And what I mean by that is, once they poke enough holes in you where they can't treat you at the facility anymore, and all these prisons are out in the middle of friggin' nowhere. So what do? They fly a helicopter in and land it on the yard, and then they load your dead body, basically, onto that helicopter so they can pronounce you dead at the nearest medical center. Okay? So, the thing is, social media is social media. A lot of people are on here to make a bag, and the drama sells, and they're trying to make money. But when is enough enough? You know, like I said, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. If that's how you're getting your money, then get your money, homie. But just be aware that, you know what, like there's consequences to our actions. The way I was taught growing up in the system, it's all respect until it isn't. Let that sink in for a minute. You know what I mean? Most of the people I know that have done a lot of time, nicest guys in the world, until suddenly they're not. And then all of a sudden everybody's surprised. Oh my God, I never thought he would be that way. Well, you shouldn't have fucked with him. But, that's kind of my message for the day. YouTube is social media. It's not real. It's not the Yarda. Knock it off. Okay? It's a good marketing thing. I'll give you that. But there are consequences that come with this stuff. Look at Savage Studios. If you don't know who he is, Google him. He ran his mouth a lot on social media. He got a lot of views and a lot of followers. He was the first one I ever seen get to 100K subscribers. And he got unalived because he was running his mouth. And rest in peace to Savage Studios, man. I followed his message, and I learned a lot about what the SNY side was like through listening to his message. When I first heard it, I thought, oh man, I don't want to listen to this guy. He's no good. But he was very charismatic, and he drew me in, and I said, wow, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So, it's the YouTube Yarda. Like, quit playing, guys. This is not what it is. You wouldn't be talking that way on a yard, and you wouldn't. Maybe on an SNY. I don't know how they get down on that side, and no disrespect to those guys, but it's not nearly as organized. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that delivered me from my addiction, and they can help you as well. You know what? You just got to get on it and get going. Sobriety is very obtainable. And just remember, it's the foundation that you build early in sobriety that's going to carry you to greater things. I'm sure many of you have seen I just surpassed 20 years of sobriety. It's your support group. It's your foundation. It's your higher power. It's what works for you, basically. Some people do the 12 steps and get a sponsor, and they sponsor other people. Some people don't. I did a residential in-house and worked on the 12 steps while I was in there. And after about a year, I had to walk away from it because listening to people talk about doing drugs all day was not good for my sobriety. For some people, that works. And if that's what works for you, shout out to you, man. Do that, But, it's what works for you. Whatever works for you. Anyways, hope everybody's having a great weekend. I should be going on live either later on tonight or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Has the YouTube Yarda gone too far? Is it really a Yarda? Is it a marketing tool? What is it? Anyways, hit that notification bell so that you will be informed anytime I drop a new video or when I go live, like I will later on tonight or tomorrow. And also join the channel. It's the best way to support Broken Bobby's transformation. So don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.